Before he left for the Middle East last week, Trump was hit with an accusation that is stunning in its inaccuracy. The Washington Post and I think the New York Times said that he had personally spoken to Dan Coats and Mike Rogers, respectively the heads of the National Intelligence Advisor and the head of the NSA, and had told them to push back on the investigation of Russia and of links between the Trump campaign and Russia. And when you examine what was said, it was not at all the impression the news media gave you, which is that he told them to go slow on the investigation, don't pursue it, back off it, have nothing to do with it, slow it down, basically obstruct justice. Instead, what he said was, I'd like you to go before Congress and tell them that there's nothing there. If there's nothing there. If you do not have any evidence or any glimmer that it was in fact any coordination between the Trump campaign and the U.S. and the Russians, say it. Push it back. Push back on those who are saying that there was. And we need to do that if that's true. And the newspapers took it all out of proportion and said that push back meant delay, obfuscate, and obstruct. Absolutely ridiculous. You come back to the fundamental fact of this inquiry. For over a year now, much more than a year and a half, there has been an investigation to try to find out if there was coordination between Trump's staff and the Russians for the hacking of Hillary's computer, the DNC computer, or for any other activity to help Trump and hurt Hillary. And they have found none. Absolutely nothing. There was a dossier that came out by a former British spy that claimed to have found that stuff, and it's totally inaccurate, filled with holes. We'll be ripping it apart in our book, Rogue Spooks, that's coming out in the middle of August. But there is no evidence. There's none. Zero. Zilch. So this entire investigation, this entire charade being launched by the Democrats with the cooperation of the intelligence community, is to build a construct of obstruction of justice, of lying to the FBI, of withholding evidence, of not providing documents, all these procedural crimes that are built on top of a foundation of an investigation of absolutely nothing. It's a little bit like the Valerie Plame affair, where she was she was called into her status as a CIA agent was outed, and the question was who told Novak about it, which was violating the law. And the U.S. attorney appointed a special prosecutor, and after a year or more of investigation, he found out that the guy that tipped Novak off was authorized to do it, that it was was not illegal, it was authorized. So he had nothing to do. So he ended up indicting Scooter Libby, Cheney's chief of staff, on perjury. And there would never have been a crime if there was never an investigation. And that's really what they're aiming for here with Trump. And on the basis of this, they're talking about taking down a president who was so strongly elected in the last election. This is absolutely outrageous.